me and Brittany both come from a small town. You're from Kentwood, Louisiana, and I am
Good.
from Clinton, Louisiana. So,
Hey,
yeah, girl, I'm from Clinton.
I didn't know this, Akeisha.
Yes, and girl, look, she called me by my government name.
Oh, so bad. Show you
No,
how long
you
I done
good.
known
I
her.
love it because I be like, I could tell when people met me because depending on what name they call me by. But I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just tell you basically what this platform is about, and then we'll just dive right in with you introducing yourself, what you do, who you are. So basically, defining beauty for me over the years has evolved into a space where men and women can find the beauty in everything that they go through. So whatever obstacle in life, being able to have a optimistic perspective or finding that optimistic perspective and seeing the beauty in everything that we go through. Right. And so, yeah. So, when I asked you, about coming on, I was like, man, this is so good because I feel like it's so important for us to talk about being from a smaller town and then having bigger dreams to do more and want more out of life. And I was like, my girl is doing her thing. Okay. She is inspiring people. She is doing a thing. So I was like, I got to bring her on. So I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself. Just say who you are and what you do.
Okay. So my name is Brittany Vachon. I am a licensed cosmetologist in the state of Mississippi, and I'm also a entrepreneur. I've actually been a licensed cosmetologist for 5 years now. But if you ask me how long I've been doing hair, it's probably close to 15 or 20 because
Okay.
I had a career of like a career as a high school teacher prior to be getting licensed and pretty much did a 180 at about 34. I'm 37 now. Did about a 180 at 34 and decided to do something completely different than what I was doing. So I do hair on my page, Reinvented Hair and Beauty Lounge, and I sell hair at Reinvented Hair. And then I also have a lifestyle brand called Normalized Bougie. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
married. My husband actually commented on here.
She's
We have been
taken.
married. Yeah, I have been married for it'll be 10 years this
Oh,
year.
wow.
I think I'm almost
Wow.
yeah.
10, a
What's
decade.
yeah. It's if it's
Wow.
not, I'm pretty sure it's about to be 10 years this year. I'm almost positive, yeah. We married a good little bit.
Okay. I love that. And I love that you have so many different avenues of what you're doing. You're not just in one lane of the industry. You're doing several things. Also, you have a very like I would say big background of experiences. So you was a teacher. So a lot of that kind of goes into being a
Right. And you have
hairstylist.
known me a long time, so you know how long
Yes.
my background go.
And you do fashion. Like that's how
Yeah.
I met you doing
Fashion.
fashion. So it's
Yep.
like you have a lot of things that go into who you are and what you do. So I guess my first question would be, how did you get started in the, I guess, as an entrepreneur first? And then how did that, well, I'll let you explain, but how did you get started as an entrepreneur? Because that's who you are as of right now, what we're interviewing for. But explain that. Explain your journey a little bit more for people.
Okay. So like I said, Sakisha has known me a very long time, and my entrepreneur journey spans probably from 2013 up
Mm-hmm.
until now. So when she knew me, I was actually doing fashion. My first business was Reinvented Modern Boutique. I
Yes,
kept the name.
I remember.
Kept the name. My
Mm-hmm.
first business was Reinvented Modern Boutique. Now, at the time that I had that business, I wasn't fully ready. I backstory, I have a bachelor's in kinesiology from Louisiana State University, go Tigers, and I have a master's degree. So I was a college educated professional first, and
Mm-hmm.
then I transitioned into entrepreneurship. But at the last job I had in like 2012, I was ready to be an entrepreneurship, at least I thought. And I convinced my mother to help me start my first business. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I shut it down in like 7 months. I just
Mm.
didn't. I thought I was ready, but once I started getting into a lot of logistics, I was not ready. And I was smart enough to know I need to go back to school and get my master's because I got my master's in business. So I shut the boutique down like toward the end of the year. I think I opened May between March and May. And by September, October, I was like, forget this. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not making no money. I wasn't even willing to push it out, like wait it out, because I'm like, I'm just not ready for this. So I ended up closing the store. And I was like, you know what? If the time comes back around after I've gotten more education and I'm ready, then I will be an entrepreneur again. I did not know that it was going to manifest into me doing hair. I
Wow.
just was like, if it comes around again, I'll do it. So I just went back to work. My mama was like, I had moved back to Kentwood. And she was like, well, what you gonna do? Because you can't just sit here. So you gotta get a job. So that's how I ended up teaching. She was like, I mean, and she had just retired. So she literally took me to the school board office because she knew the superintendent, assistant superintendent, and she was like, she need a job. And that's how I ended up teaching. So in the
Wow.
midst of teaching, I built another business, which was doing hair, by doing my students' hair. I had no idea teaching was going to lead me into a clientele that was going to lead
Wow.
me back into selling hair, doing hair. But that's pretty much the trajectory of me as an entrepreneur. I started a business, it failed. I literally took whatever I learned from that, started another business while I was working a job, and then went back to full-time
I
entrepreneurship.
think that's so important for people to understand and to know. Okay, first of all, entrepreneurship is not
Not
easy.
easy
Baby,
at
it looks
all.
easy, but
It
it's
is
not
not.
easy.
It's so much
It
work.
it takes so much work. It's
Yeah.
literally you're working 24/7. Okay. There's
24/7,
no days
365.
off. There's no
Nope.
PTO.
Nope.
But I
My
think it's
husband
so
always talking about
important.
me on my phone because I'm like constantly, like, I have two. My other one is right here. That's my
Same
business
girl.
phone. He always
Same.
talking about me like I'm on one or the other. Something is about to get done on these phones.
Yes. I think it's so important that I had to learn it in my journey that working a 9 to 5 and having your business is not a bad thing.
It's not a
And I
bad
guess
thing.
for me, as a dreamer, I was like, entrepreneur it is. I had no
Hmm.
doubt that that's what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I'm a all in or nothing type of person. So it took me some years to understand the finding the balance of it. But I watched your journey and I loved how you kind of like took your time. Like, I didn't know all of the steps in it, but I love how you kind of took your time to allow something to evolve and you didn't force it. And I
Yeah.
think that's so important because you need that.
You
Because if you
definitely
force
do.
entrepreneurship on yourself, there is going to be failure. And if you're not strong enough and mentally and financially to
Yeah.
support yourself, you're going to hit rock bottom really hard. And that's not saying
Yeah.
that you can't get up. And I love that you said you learned your lesson. And then with that, when it came back around, you were able to take what you learned and make something great. Now,
Yeah.
I want to talk about how did coming from a smaller town um basically shape who you are, and as far as like dreaming big, because I know a lot of people may need that like in our in our smaller cities, as far as like they feel stuck in their area. And I know like you now live in Mississippi, Macomb, Mississippi,
Yeah.
and that is
Sitting
looked
in this
at
phone.
as a
That's
small
my
city,
town.
but you're doing a
Another small
thing.
city.
Right. So explain to us like how you kind of keep your head balanced and stay afloat, as far as like you're gonna be great, but also realizing where you are and trying to advance who you are with where you are, basically. I asked you two questions.
That's okay. I got you. I think I can finesse what you said.
Okay,
So,
okay.
one thing about me growing up is that my mom, even though I lived in a small town, my mama didn't place limits on nothing that I wanted to do, ever tried to do. So
That's
even though I lived in
good.
Kentwood, she let me believe that anything was possible. Like, I don't
Mm,
think she ever told me it was something that I could not do. So even with being in a small town where you can literally only see past where you at, see down the end of the road, my mom was a person who went to school out of state. She let me travel during the summers. Like, she just let me believe that it was more to life than Kentwood.
yeah.
So that helped me when I left, because when I went to LSU, mind you, people was going to Southeastern, they was going to Southern. I was the
Mm-hmm.
only person from my high school that went to LSU. So I had to start from scratch. I had no
Wow.
friends, no nothing. But because she had kind of put that in me, I was like, you know what? we just finna see. Like, I just knew I could not stay in the small town. Like, you can be
Mhm.
from a small town and not have a small town mentality. So that's
Yes.
kind of where I tread the like. When people are, you from Kent? Yes, girl, I'm from a small town. Like, the smallest of small, and I absolutely love Kentwood. Gonna
Yes.
represent to the day I die. However, me living there long term was just not gonna happen.
Mhm.
Now, little did I know I was gonna meet a man who was just gonna move me 30 minutes up the road. And I was
See
still
how
gonna be in
God
a
work,
small
girl.
town. And it was crazy because when I went to LSU and then ended up moving back to Mississippi, I was like, Brittany, you living in Mississippi? I'm like, girl, this man got me out here living in Mississippi. However, it was a blessing in disguise.
Mhm.
Because I had left, I suggest all small town people at some point leave. Leave, go live somewhere else, do something, and then come back because it'll expand your view of the
Yeah.
area. Even though I'm
Mhm.
living in a small town, I have enough of a view of what the world looks like to not put limits on myself here.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people in small towns, they just can't see past where they at. They can't get their head out of only these people around. But the world is so big, it's so
Mhm.
vast. People are can be beautiful human beings if you can get past that. So my life just kind of took me in other places. So even when I came back to a small town, I can function here, live here. I've lived in one my entire life, but I just still look at the world as like a big place. I don't put myself in a box here. I never have in nothing that I do. And we have the help of social media. Social
Absolutely.
media can expose you to so much. Like, it's literally how I was able to grow my business. I'm in a small town, but I don't rely on the people here. I get online, I make my
Mhm.
content, I make myself known, I go travel, I put myself in places that people are afraid to. And if you're not
Mhm.
afraid to put yourself out there and put yourself in different places, it'll take you so far. Like, everybody's like, it's just something different about you, girl, because I'm gonna get out of here. And then I'm gonna come back
Okay.
and I'm gonna bring you what I saw somewhere else. I'm gonna just bring it back here. That's what you have to do if you're in a small town. Like, don't put limits on yourself and just stay there. I don't care if you get your kids to traveling for the summertime. That's how my mom actually got me and my brother. So I had family that's military, and they moved a lot. So when they were living in California, I went to California. They were living in
Mhm.
Ohio, I went to Ohio. So I spent my summers in the other states, living around other people, figuring out and it just, I was like, babe, I got to get out of here. As soon as I hit 18, I was like, I can't. I'm not staying
Yeah.
in Kentwood. Like, it's all I can think of was this world is so big and so beautiful. I cannot lock myself here. And that's what happens in a small town. You get chokehold because it's all
Yes.
you know, it's all you see. But if you see more, you're gonna be like, I gotta
I
do it.
gotta
So that's
go.
I got to go. So just being from a small town and having a small town mentality are two
Two
different
different
things. So I might
things.
be from a small town, but my mentality is very much I can do and be whoever I want to be.
Yes.
That's pretty much where I live it now. Now, just be like, girl, I can do it.
Yes.
I don't have a way to do it, but I can do it.
Yes. I love that the way you separated the two, being from a small town and having a small town mentality, because there is a difference.
A big
And I
difference.
think it's also important that what you were saying about you can leave and bring back what you
Yeah.
learned. And I think a lot of times when people are in smaller cities, they want to expand the city so bad. I was that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in Baton Rouge, I'm like, man, I want to be the difference. I want to bring
Mm-hmm.
things here. I want to do this. But baby, my dreams were bigger. And
Bigger.
for so long, I felt kind of bad about moving away, even from Clinton to Baton Rouge to Houston. Now Houston, I felt bad because I'm like, man, I'm leaving that area, the areas that raised me, the areas that built character in me. I'm leaving those places, but I realized that I'm a product of those places, so that those places go where I go. So
Right,
my
right.
accomplishments, they get the recognition of those accomplishments. But I also had to understand sometimes you have to step out of something to
You
be able
do.
to see the full picture of what is needed in
Right.
that area. And so when I moved from Clinton to Baton Rouge, I was able to see what Clinton need. When I
Mm-hmm.
moved from Baton Rouge to Houston, now I can see what Baton Rouge need. And now I feel like my part is I can bring something back to there. I don't have to live there.
You don't have to
I
live
don't have
there to
to
bring it
live
back.
there. But I can bring it back. And I
You can
think
bring it
that's
back.
important for a lot of people because a lot of people will be stuck on they're big dreamers, but they don't want to leave the environment that they're in because they want to help. And baby, you
Mm-hmm.
got to think about yourself first and your dreams first and what you want to do, and you impact other people by impacting yourself. Yourself come first.
Right.
You know, you
Yourself
are
come
your
first.
main purpose. So
Right.
when you begin to work on you, go after your dreams, you're then going to be able to pull other people. But
Right.
if you try to stay in that
It's
and try to pull
gonna
them,
be
where you
hard.
pulling them to, you know? So I think that was very important that you said that.
Now, one
And so
thing I
I also
will.
wanted to,
Oh, my
oh, go
bad. I
ahead.
was going just to
No, go ahead.
piggyback on what you were saying. I'm still actively living in a small town. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, one of the reasons I'm really still able to do that is because I've been other places. Like, if you're going to be a person
Yes.
that's going to have change or bring change to the community, you yourself have to go away first.
Yes.
And if you come back, you can bring the change back and still live here. Because I'm not going to lie, it's benefits to living in a small town because the cost of living
Mm-hmm.
is a lot cheaper. And if you
Mm-hmm.
know how to capitalize, girl, if you know how to capitalize on the cost of living being cheaper as a business owner, I'm telling you, it just makes life so much easier. Like, we can get into that later when you're talking about that, but I'm telling you, being able to balance the fact that I live somewhere else, but I live in a small town now, but I have lived elsewhere. Like, I can really maximize my life in Mississippi because I know how to do it. So if
Yes.
people can do that, most definitely. You had a question in the
I was just about
comments.
to say I had a question. She said, "How do you find balance between 9 to 5 and managing your own business?"
So for me personally, I was a high school teacher, so I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got a lot of stuff done on the clock. I got a lot of stuff done on the clock, baby. I
As
was
we
teaching
all
them
do.
kids, but I was using that planning period. Planning period. But I'm not gonna lie, I really overworked myself during that time. I can't even tell you that it was actually a balance. I was working like 6 days a week, maybe seven sometimes, because school took in at 7:45 ish. School let out at 2:53. I was doing hair by 3 o'clock. I was doing hair from 3 to 9.
Mm.
And I was living in Mississippi, but I was doing hair at my mama's house in Kentwood at first.
Ooh.
So yeah, because I taught at Kentwood. I taught at the high school I went
Oh,
to. So my
yeah.
yeah, so my mom's house is like a 2 minute walk down the street from the school. So I was just leave the school and drive to her house and have the clients meet me there. So this was like between 14 and 15, like right before I got married. And when I got married, the first year I still was doing hair at the house. So in 17, I started doing hair in Mississippi. So I'm gonna be honest, if I can't even tell you that it was a balance, but I can tell you that I was determined. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that it was going to lead to me leaving my job. I just thought I was doing hair to make extra money because as a teacher, you don't make a lot. And my pay had got cut because I wasn't certified at the time. So they cut me like $4,000, I think. And I was just trying to make up the difference.
Girl.
Yes. I went from making 40,
Wow.
41, 41, 40, 39, 35, from 41 to 37. And I just wanted to make up the difference, the gap difference. And I figured out how much that was per month. And I just started doing hair to supplement that. And that led into, because I was like, oh, I got to be consistent. Like, I can also talk about how I accidentally built a social media following because that was not the goal. I just wanted to promote the hair so I could make the money, so I can make up for what I was lacking in teaching. And it transformed into a full blown clientele. I
Right.
mean,
And and now people are traveling to come see you.
yeah, they
Okay.
are traveling
And
in.
okay, and I was gonna say like one thing that I've tried to find because I work a 9 to 5 now
Mhm.
too. Find the balance of I have to plan everything, kind of like
Yeah,
plan when I'm gonna work, plan when I'm gonna
that's already
like
is.
make
Yeah,
content. Like I have to like put
everything has to
things
be
in place
planned.
to
Yeah,
keep me
everything has to
healthy.
be planned.
And I struggle with
Yeah,
that, okay? But I think
I'm
as
not
you
gonna
take small
lie.
steps,
Yeah, you're gonna have to. It's not gonna be easy if you're still working a 9 to 5. You're gonna
mm-hmm,
feel like you're doing a lot, but I would never tell anybody to quit the 9 to 5 to pursue the business if the business is not making you the money. I
yes,
only left teaching when I was making more money doing hair on the side than I was as a teacher.
yes.
If that money did not add up, you would still see me in the classroom.
Yeah. And I think that's important as a business owner to know
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
look, that entrepreneurship, like that business is gonna go like this. Your
Yep.
finances are gonna go like this.
Yep. Yep.
One day I
Yep.
seen a meme that said you could make $60,000 in one day. The next 30 days you may not make nothing.
Zero
So you gotta
dollars.
learn how to deal
You
with
got
a
to
little
manage
and
that
a lot.
money. You have to manage that money.
You
And
have to learn how to
again,
manage the money.
if you're not that 9 to 5, like I can't even tell you that there is a real balance. You just have to create structures for yourself. Being a teacher and being an entrepreneur and trying to do them both simultaneously, it taught me how to create systems for myself. It taught me how
Yes.
to make things easier on myself so I would have time. And I'm not going, again, it was little to no balance because I was working almost every single day with no end goal, but just to make money. The end goal was never to be a hairstylist. The end goal was just to supplement my income until I just completely got tired of teaching. So it was never, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be a hairstylist at the end. No, it was just to make extra money until I was like, I'm making a lot of extra money. I don't know if I'm gonna keep teaching.
I need to make this a career. I
Girl.
love that. I love that. Okay, so I want to get back on. I wanted to ask you this question. Like, as far as like, what challenges have you faced being an entrepreneur, hairstylist, as far as like building a empire? Because I feel like you're at a point where you have established yourself as a hairstylist. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Like you've established yourself to where if people who know you, they know what you do, and so that's how
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like somebody's established because you have clear communication.
yeah.
But I also know that there's challenges that we face. So what are some challenges that you face that you can kind of like guide other people when they're building their business from the ground up and they want to see like that success happen slowly?
One of the biggest challenges that you're probably going to face, I'm going to put it in general terms because it's
Hmm.
probably not just my business. You have to have systems. People struggle
Yes.
with creating structure for their business. It's not that I can do hair the best you've ever seen. It's
Hmm.
because you understand who I am as a brand, what I represent, and exactly what you're getting when you're coming to me. You
Hmm.
don't feel out of place. That
Hmm.
creates structure and it creates a demand for your services. When I get on and talk on TikTok, when I get on and talk on Facebook, when I'm doing voiceovers on videos, people have a clear understanding of who I am. Even before then, when I was just posting, videos and stuff, I made sure marketing was in tax. So that's pretty much where I kind of let everything flow. Like you have to be a person who's willing to create the structure. The structure of your brand is going to take you long term. You can, of
Hmm.
course, get education, learn the trends. That's not what's going to take you far.
Yes.
In 5 years, me and my husband literally just talking about what I've been able to do in my business in 5 years. I've only been licensed 5 years. I've only had a salon 5 years. I've literally
Mhm.
done all of this in 5 years. And he was
Yes.
like, a lot of people don't get to that level of success. I said, it's because they lack the discipline.
Yes.
You have to have the discipline that even when you don't see people coming, you don't see people showing up on your posts and stuff, that you still want to do it. Like,
Mhm.
you always just got to find another avenue to work something. Okay, this might not be working. Let me try. Like, I'm good at pivoting. If
Oh.
this not working, I'm gonna try something else.
Mhm.
Like, let me see. I'm gonna do it all in the context of this is my business. This is what I want. This is the core of what I want to bring. Let me see how I can readjust and get people. And even as the economy changes, as people change, like I'm constantly readjusting the business. So that's kind of where I try to steer people. If you are a new stylist, a new entrepreneur, you have to have a structure from the beginning. One of my mentees look like she just joined.
I think
I would say she probably the
that's
only
so
one I have.
important because let me tell you, that took me a while to learn.
Yeah, you
Like
have to
you
have
gotta have
structure.
the you gotta have the
And
structure
if you
because
have
it
no
saves
structure,
so much time
mhm,
for you.
you will mess yourself up. Like even when I was doing hair out of my house, out of my mama's house, I have always had structure. I have always wanted a one-to-one experience. Personally, I really am an introvert. I don't know why people think that I like. I am really an
Hmm.
introvert, so I like the closeness of getting to know the client. it builds community.
Yeah.
That's what you want with that. And with that, it created a demand because people's like, oh, if you go to Brittany, you in and out. So that's the part
Mhm.
that kind of like started to push me forward. You know, I could do good hair, but it was like, oh, you gonna get there, you're gonna be by yourself. She gonna start on time. That's what people started to say about me. That type of stuff follows you long term. It follows
Yeah.
you more than how well you can do hair. If you do hair a little bit past mediocre, you have excellent customer service skills, you're gonna make more money
Mhm.
than a girl who can do hair the best. And
Mhm.
I hate to say that. I was actually I spoke for Kiri Austin. I don't know if you follow her. She has a university, a luxury hair university, and she had me speak. And this was one of the we ended up speaking because she posted on her stories that the person with discipline is going to out earn the person who has motivation. And I was like, no true words have been spoken, because if you
Mhm.
have the discipline to do everything that you're trying to do, you are going to make more money. Look at Jory. I told you that's my that's my mentee. She on here. And
Baby,
I have literally been,
I'm listening.
girl, I'm telling you, you have to have
Mhm.
discipline. Discipline is going to carry you so much further. Like, even when I don't feel like it, I'll schedule content for 3 days if I know I don't feel like posting. And sometimes I just get away from doing that. But that discipline to constantly put yourself out there, even when you don't see results, is what honestly I feel like has kind of carried me over the edge, even in the rough spots. Like, my best few years have been the years that have probably sucked for other people, which was the last 2 to 3. My business has been on an upward trajectory, especially with selling
Mhm.
hair. So that's that's pretty much it.
I love
Hopefully I answered
that.
your
And we
question
do have a
somewhere in there.
question. No, you good.
Okay.
It say what encouraged you to invest quality into the business? I'm guessing not exactly sure what that may mean. Like meaning like
Well, I'm
what
gonna just tell
encouraged
you,
you.
I wanted a certain type of clientele. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Okay,
I
okay, okay.
wanted to provide a service that I felt like was unmatched. Everybody can do hair.
Mhm.
Everybody could do what I was doing. How am I going to set myself apart? And for me, that meant me. Like, you're gonna have to come to me to get what I got, because people know when you come sit in my chair is different. We talking, we laughing,
Mhm.
you getting that one-to-one experience. You feel so comfortable with me that you know when you leave here and you try to go to somebody else, it's not gonna be the same.
Mhm.
You have to bring yourself into it. So if you're talking about the quality, I knew I wanted a specific type of woman. The woman that come to me, she values her hair. Like, I can get you down to a T to what she look like, not physically, but mindset wise. She's a woman who values her hair. She values convenience. She wants to be
Mhm.
in and out. Like, I got women who can schedule a touch up on their lunch break and know they're gonna be out because they know I'm not gonna be running behind.
Okay.
So I'm one of those people. Like, you are putting yourself in a position of, I know when I get here the experience is gonna be bomb and my hair gonna look good and I'm gonna be out of here in a decent time. All of that stuff matters when
Girl,
you
you make me
are trying
want to
to
travel
build.
to Mississippi.
Girl, all of that matters when you coming to get your hair done. Like, my shop is literally quiet. Like, when people walk in and I'll be like, oh, we can start. They looking like, we going to the back already? Yes. Yes, we're going to the back. I don't want to be here all day with you. I want to get you done.
Okay.
'Cause I want to go home. And that's literally how I
Right.
do it. I tell people, people, oh, if you still work in your business, you're not a CEO, baby. I say reinvent. I work for Reinvented. I
Mhm.
basically treat this as if I have a boss and I have to answer to the boss. That's what keeps me consistent.
That's
Like, if my
good.
schedule
Good.
say Wednesday through Saturday, I work Wednesday through Saturday,
Mhm.
because that's what the boss say I got to work. Those are the hours that I set for myself. Again, goes back to discipline. I discipline myself enough over the years. I'm not taking off for any little thing. If I have to rearrange my schedule, I'm going to do it ahead of time so I don't have to cancel my flights. If I cancel on you last minute, know something wrong. No, I'm
Mhm.
extremely sick. And that helped because I actually ended up getting sick a few weeks ago. And when I had to cancel my flights, everybody understood.
They knew.
Brittany must be down and out that she canceling us. So yeah. So if you
I
talk
love
about
that. I love that you
quality,
built a reputation for yourself because I always tell people because even I'm the same way. I ain't gotta be the best hairstylist because guess
gotta
what?
be the best.
I got something that nobody else gonna give you, and that's me.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can rock with the person that I am, then you're gonna always want to come
Right.
back for more.
You gonna
Okay.
always want to come.
Yes.
And my clients don't leave. That's why it'd be so hard to get in my on my check in my books, because when I get clients, my clients don't necessarily leave. Like they might not come all the time, but I'm their hairstylist, and that's it. And you can't tell them no different. I see Muffin here. She moved to Nashville, and she trying to come back home because she was like, "Who I'm finna get to do my hair?" So yeah, like my
Wow.
clients never leave. Like they are always there. Tristan.
So
But yeah,
I just want to point out a couple things that we have talked about so far that I feel like is valuable as someone who's either starting a business, in the middle of like that sweet spot of their business, or someone who's already established their business. Like some things that I've heard is you could be a dreamer. Okay, you could be a dreamer. It doesn't matter where you are. You just have to be determined to go after what you want. Then two,
this is
I
true.
heard, your character your character is more important than your skill. Okay? Because your character will take you farther places than a skill will. People can teach people how to do something, but they cannot
Correct.
teach you how to be a great
They can't
person.
teach
So
you
that
that.
means that your character matters, who you are, like, so your reputation. I heard you say that, like, what you're giving to your clients, or what kind of quality, that, and what kind of experience you want them to feel when they step into your presence. I think that is very important too. So if you just hopping on, I'm just going over some of the things that we've talked about already. Okay, so because I'm trying to keep the time, girl. So my last thing I would say that I want to just us to talk about, you have, okay, so this past year, okay, let me brag on you, girl. This past year, baby, okay, I have seen you worked so hard, and I can tell that there's a drive there. I can tell that there's consistency. I can tell there's confidence. I can tell that there's structure, right? I can tell that you have a plan. Like, you have a plan in mind of where you want to go. And I was just so happy for you this year, well, last year, that you accomplished something so big. Like, as I'm not gonna spoil it. I want you to tell everybody like what you accomplished in your business within 5 years of being in business.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure what she was referring to. So on Black Friday of 2024,
Okay.
I made $100,000 in less than 24
Yes.
hours. That was during
Wait,
my
say it
Black
one more time
Friday
because I
sale.
was talking. Tell them again, girl.
I made $100,000 in less than 24
My
hours, and the sale was not over.
God.
The
Okay.
sale was not over. Like I made the $100,000 before. I'm gonna be honest, it came so fast. Like I was in my room, and I remember, I think I still got the paper. My husband was pumping me up, like the Rocky theme song, and he
Yeah.
had put on a piece of paper, good luck. So I had opened it, I think maybe an hour early for people who are subscribed. With the people who were subscribed, I think they had got me to like 50 or
Wow.
60,000 just in the, just the people that were subscribed to my email and text message markets. This
And wait,
not
was this just your hair, or this was your hair and your clothing?
no, just hair, just hair, just hair, just hair, just hair, just hair.
From
Yeah. So at
someone who
least,
started,
yeah,
and you was like, I'm just gonna do this to make up for what I'm losing,
just to make up
to
for what I'm
building.
losing. Yeah,
Wow.
just to make up. Now I'll give you this piece of information because the year is over and whatever. But I ended up grossing last year just with reinventing as a whole. We grossed at a half a meal for the entire year.
Wow,
Yeah.
Brittany, congratulations.
So I mean,
Your
it's
hard
been
work.
it's been quite amazing. I can't even lie. Like it was kind of mind blowing. Like I wasn't expecting last year to do what it did. But me and my accountant had talked. And when I first got with her, we spoke about what my goals were as an entrepreneur. Honestly, it was just to make a little bit more. I had already been a six-figure hairstylist and I was like, I want to amp up the selling. I thought it was gonna be in the clothes. I ended up dropping that Burmese curly hair in
Mm.
2023, 2022, 2023, I think, 2023. And it started getting traction. Well, my TikTok started to blow up from that texture that next year, which was 2024. So I had already did my birthday sale. And my birthday sale, excuse me, it did really well. And I was like, Black Friday might hit. So I had set the goal. I was like, I'm gonna go for it.
I love
I'm
it.
gonna go for it. I'm gonna see what it is. So I had been planning for Black Friday. Like usually, I plan my sales out for the entire year in January, so I already know what sales I'm gonna have for the year. Just again systems. So I had already knew kind of what I wanted to do, and around August, I started really putting the motion in play, and was like, financially, is this attainable? And with the sales that I had from my birthday sale in May, trajectory wise, this is Black Friday's bigger. I think I can hit it because I did 50,000 in May for my birthday. And I knew I was like,
Wow.
okay, Black Friday is bigger than my birthday sale. So I should be able to hit those numbers. So again, everything is strategic for me. Nothing is left to chance. I would have been fine if I didn't hit it, but to hit it in less than 24 hours. And the sale lasted from that Thursday to that Monday. So that was not the complete. I think I ended up making in total for Black Friday between that Thursday and that Monday, 142,000, I think. That was the total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
So it
I
was it was a lot. Now I'm not gonna lie, when you do them type of numbers, one of the biggest adjustments I had to make was trying to accommodate for more people and more eyes on me. If you kind of pay attention to my website and some of my systems, they have to change because
mhm.
I went from having 5 or 10 orders in a month to 300 orders in a
Wow.
month, 100 orders in a week. Like it just fluctuates. So trying to accommodate for that, and my shop is not huge. It's like we are really busting at the seams, but I just would not let go because the rent's so cheap. But just trying to accommodate that large of a crowd is hard. And I tell people, if you order, like that's the good thing about me and being transparent. Hey, it's gonna take a while because I only have me and my mama who has always believed in me. She's the other person helping me. I had to get my husband to come there and help this time because it was so many. Um,
Yeah.
but people understood. Everybody understood because again, I show up in front of the camera for the brand. So they didn't feel like they were talking to somebody else. When I said it was going to take a while, nobody questioned it. Again, they roll with the punches. If they felt like it was something, they would email me. I email back. So they again trust me. So now I'm getting to the point that I think I serviced 35 out of 50 states last year.
Wow,
Going for, yeah, my
Brittany.
accountant did my breakdown at the end of the year. So now I have loyal customers from other states. This is what, when it ties into being somebody from a small town, I didn't let people from my small town discourage me from not having it because they're probably not going to be my ideal market. So
Yes.
expanding your reach, being a person who's not afraid to put your business past people who can see you. Like social media is just, it's a place where you can really thrive if you use it correctly. Like you can put yourself in a position to really make some serious money and also expand your business. Like I took a class, I know it's getting a little off topic, but it,
No, you
it kind
good.
of ties in. I took a class in 2019 with Kenya D, a stylist out of Atlanta. I usually always take some classes with a stylist out of Atlanta. And Ming Lee spoke. I don't know if you know Ming Lee from
Yeah.
Snob.
Mm-hmm.
She spoke. And I remember her specifically saying, if you're a hairstylist and you feel like the community is not, supporting you, don't be afraid to expand yourself past that. She was like, because even though I do hair in Atlanta, that's not where most of my clientele is from.
Mm-hmm.
And it hit me so hard because I'm like, bruh, I've been sitting here thinking, man, like everybody's traveling. And this, even then, when I was doing hair out of my house, I was in Mississippi and people still traveling from Louisiana. I'm like, man, what if this ever stops? And she just kind of reassured me that
Mm.
we're in the age of people traveling for hair. If people want something from you, they're going to get it. Like, do not be afraid to market yourself past where you at. So every time I talk to somebody and want to give somebody some encouragement, do not be limited to the people that you see like in your immediate community. Like expand yourself. People will drive hours to get their hair done. They'll drive hours if your services are worth it. So that's like my ultimate piece of advice. Like, don't be afraid to put yourself in rooms or put yourself in a bigger atmosphere because if you got the chops, the people gonna come. They're gonna come and they're gonna come recurringly. So yeah.
Yes, man, Brittany, I love that. And I don't got nothing else to say, girl, because that is amazing. Baby, let me tell you, I'm a sponge, girl. I'm gonna soak it all in because I I I get my motivation and my like my drive from seeing other people. Like I love to see other people dream. I love to see other people accomplish what they want to
Mhm.
do, because not all the time do you want to do it for
You
yourself.
don't.
But when you see another person doing it, you like, it's time for me to
I can
move.
do
It's
it.
time for me to get up. It's time for me. And I just remember like certain times I'll come past your content. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get up. It wasn't like, like, man, I want to be there. I want to be there. Of course I do. You have those thoughts. I
Right.
want to do this. I want to do this. But I took it as like, man, I could do more.
You can,
Like, let me get up. Like,
you can
what
do
am I trying
more.
to do? Like, and I think it's so important for us to see that in other people, even the people who are in the same industry as us.
Right, right,
Like, it's a beautiful thing when you can take something from those people and bring it into what you're doing, because that's how the world keeps going around and around, because we're
right.
we're recycling ourselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
basically what you
We
got,
don't.
I get, and somebody else gonna get that. Like it's
Right.
a constant
It's a
like rotation,
constant.
like of what we're giving. And so I'm very grateful to know you. I'm so proud of you. I know people say that all the time. It's so cliche when people say, I'm proud of you, I'm proud of you. But I really am, because I've
Girl,
watched your journey. Like, and
when you
I'm
saw me this summer and
amazed.
said that, you said that at Essence, and my friend was with me. You had my friend crying because she was just like, Brittany, she was like, it's so true. She was like, she's known me just as long. I've known her since I was living in Baton Rouge too. And she was just like, she was like, it's just so nice. She was like, to see somebody giving you your flowers. She was like, you've overcame and you've done. She was like, and like to see somebody see. So she was with me crying. I'm like, Vanessa, please stop, stop. Please don't do this to me in public. I'm not
I think
ready.
I've always been that person of wanting to let people know, bruh, you're doing a great job. And you have to continue to do that, because it's hard. I know it's hard for me. So I know it's hard for the next person. And so I want to, anytime I encounter someone and I'm inspired by them, even if it's a little bit, I'm going to give that back to them, because they need it. And that's
Right.
fuel to their fire, because that's going to keep pushing you to keep going, to keep going, to keep going. And it has nothing to do with me, but it's all about giving you back to you what you put out. And so
Right.
I'm gonna always give that to you. Always,
Thank you,
baby.
boo.
I'm cheering you
Same.
on, and I'm rooting for you next year. Let's whatever your goal
Woo.
is, 2 mil, okay?
Jesus.
It's
We're gonna be
nothing for
pushing.
you.
We're gonna be pushing.
But yeah, so thank you so much for agreeing to come on this
No
live with me.
problem.
I really appreciate it. I'm really passionate about creating this platform for people. And I'm still figuring things out, but I've learned, like you said, I've learned different things by continuing to keep doing it,
Right, right.
being consistent with it. And so, yes, I wish you nothing but the best this year and everything
Same
that
to
you're
you.
doing. All right,
All
Brittany,
right,
thank
see
you
you
so
later.
much. All right, bye, y'all.